Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Coinx and you're welcome to CoinxDaProducer. In today's video, I'll be showing you how to properly prep your vocals before mixing. This process is important because prepping your vocals makes them sit nicely in the mix. And without it, you will often struggle to balance your voice with the instrumental. A properly prepared vocal will give you that polished professional sound without overloading your compressor. Here is the thing, when a compressor plugin is working too hard on your voice, you are actually setting up your track for failure. Why? Because instead of focusing on controlling dynamics, the compressor ends up using most of its engine to just tame extreme peaks. That reduces performance and leaves your mix sounding forced and unnatural. And that is why prepping your vocals before mixing is so crucial. It makes everything flow smoothly. Before we jump into the demo, let me quickly address a question I got from my last video on manual vocal isolation with AI or paid plugins. Someone asked this question on the screen right now, and here is my answer. If you want a clean instrumentals, I recommend a free plugin called WavePad. And all you need to do is to download it, install it, load your song into WavePad, highlight the loaded track, the entire track, click on this feature called Reduce Voice, and on that menu, choose the first option as you can see for best algorithm, wait for it to process and then preview. Now you can see the voice is completely gone, though you can still hear a little bit of it in the track, but that's not a problem. Now that you have the instrumentals, export it as either WAV or MP3, then bring it into your DAW. In my case, I'm using FL Studio, so choose your favorite. All you need to do is to now combine it with the original track and apply the technique I showed in my earlier tutorial. Boom, clean separation. So this way, even if AI tools disappear tomorrow, you will still know how to do it manually. And just to add, there are other ways to still achieve this, but that is a little more technical and it will take longer time. Now with that out of the way, let's get into today's demonstration. I will show you the before and after so you can hear the difference. Now we will start with this one, which is the raw audio. Some people wanna know. And I need you to pay very close attention to the background noise and the overall quality of this audio. Some people wanna know, they wanna know what's going on. They all want to know what's going on. Alright, now let's listen to the after. Some people wanna know, they wanna know what's going on. They all want to know what's going on. And you can hear the difference, right? So to prepare your voice, your recorded vocals before mixing, the first step I take, this is my own personal approach that has worked for me for a very long time, alright? So it is not set on stone. You can modify it to suit your desired need. So what I'm showing you here today is exactly what I do that works for me. Now, the first thing is to normalize the audio. Let me turn off this one. So the very first thing I do is to normalize the audio. But before I go into normalizing this audio, let me quickly show you something. When you double click this and click on normalize, this is the original file, alright? If you click on normalize, you notice that some peaks are cutting out. Let me open it in a wider screen. Now, when you normalize here, you can see some are cutting out. But in my case, it is not that bad. There are situations where it will pull up and cut off, which isn't good. Alright, so I recommend, first of all, coming to these peaks, taking care of them by, highlighting some sections, drawing it down. I'm just doing this for the demonstration. In real time, I'm not gonna do it this way, alright? It's something you approach with caution. So make sure all those peaks you suspect that will shoot so high like this section, take care of them first, all right? But not too much. And when you're satisfied, you can now merge the audio, merge the clip so that you have a full clip again. Now at this point, if you noticed after merging, it's merged as a normalized track. That is not what I intend to do. So I'll go back, turn it off, merge. After you must have corrected those peaks, right? So you merge, then you normalize so that all those peaks will not be cut off, as you can see here. So the question is, why do we need to normalize our audio track? The major reason is, let's say you recorded on a very low input signal. Normalizing it will help balance the loudness and at the same time give you a consistent starting point. But if you recorded on average level, you might not really need this. But in my case, I'm actually sharing what I did that has been working for me. So I always normalize my tracks, but I pay very close attention at the peaks to make sure they are not cutting out and distorting. So after normalization, that takes us to the next step. So here, before compression, it's super important to clean your audio. And here is what I usually remove. I work on the clicks, the background noise, the room echo, plosives, hum, and rumbles. So what I do is to send that particular audio to a channel, and on the channel, I will add all the tools I will use for cleaning up. And here are a few important notes to have in mind. Always back up your raw vocal first. That way, if you overdo things, you can easily roll back with the help of that backed up file, alright? Make sure you use good headphones while cleaning to avoid eating too much from the vocal tone while removing noise or plosives. So in a situation when you load all these things and it's dragging your system, just like mine, because my system isn't the strongest, so after each stage I consolidate the file. I mean, it is not mandatory, it is just my method to keep things running smoothly. Alright, so the first thing I will do is to remove the background noise. First, if I'm recording the audio, I always like to capture empty sections, right? Now let me show you with this. This is the original file. So as you can see over here, I intentionally allowed this section so that I will use it to capture the noise profile. So now I'll simply double click and right click on the wave and choose audio editor to open it up in editing. And right here, I will just copy a small section, come over to the brush icon, right click, give it time. Now it will sample the noise, then highlight everything here. This time around, left click on the same icon. It will pull up this menu, which is where it is displaying the noise profile. Now, it is important to take your time to adjust these two main features, the threshold and the amount, to determine the level of noise you want to take out. So this is what I normally do. I will turn on the outputs only so that I can hear only the noise that I'm taking out. Then I'll preview. Alright, if you paid very close attention, you notice that I allowed it to play into where the voice came in. The reason for that is so that I can hear the amount of the voice it is, cutting out. And at this point, I am very okay with that. So I will uncheck or deactivate this and then preview. Some people wanna know. Some people wanna know. And as you can see, it is clean and ready to use. So I'll accept, give it time to process. once that is done, you can see from here that it's completely clean. So what I now do is I'll simply drag from here onto the audio, either here or over here, and replace, then trim out the sections you don't need. Some people wanna know, they wanna know what's going on. Some people wanna know, they wanna know. So you can see it is clean and it is ready. Now the next thing I will do is to work on the room echo. The reason I'm doing this is the environment where I am recording doesn't have proper acoustic treatment. So sometimes when I record, if you listen carefully, you can hear the room echo in the recorded vocals, which is not good. So at this point, I will activate this just to hear only the reverb. Then I'll preview. Some people wanna know, they wanna know what's going on. Some people wanna know, they wanna know. Some people wanna know, they wanna know what's going on. They all want to know what's going on. Alright, I'm okay with that level because I already set it. So how was I able to achieve this? Simply play through the track some people and hit learn. Some people wanna know, they wanna know what's. So once you're done learning, some people wanna know, they wanna know what's going on. You notice that the moment I stopped it, this section readjusted, alright? Then use this knob here, the reduction knob, to set it to your taste. So this is where you pay very close attention to avoid taking too much from the recorded vocals. Some people wanna know, they wanna know what's going on. Some people wanna know, they wanna know. Some people wanna know, they wanna know what's going on. They all. Alright, at this point, I am satisfied. And that takes us to the next effect. This time I'll take out clicks. Sometimes you might not notice there are clicks in this track. So that is why when using tools like this to help you see things that you might overlook. So now just listen to the clicks and see what is there. So what I just did is to use the single band algorithm, but it's okay to try the multi-band, random or generic. So it all depends on you, but make sure you judge properly with the headphone, alright? So once that is done, deactivate this and let's have a listen. Some people wanna know, they wanna know. Alright, not that much noticeable. So let me quickly do that of the clipping. I don't really do much with this. I just put it there. The essence of this is should it encounters peaks that are clipping, it will take care of that. Alright. So the next one is crackle. I take care of that as well. I use the medium. Then I engage the plosives. Then after the plosives, I do the hum. And the reason I love doing it is at this stage, it helps me take care of all those rumbles in the audio. But it is important to be very subtle because if you're not careful, you end up destroying the low-end information that will really help the audio sound rich. So now I've already done this before, so let's quickly hear it. Some people wanna know, they wanna know what's going on. Some people wanna know, they wanna know. Now you can see my system is crying seriously right now. So I'll deactivate these ones so we can hear what the hum is doing. Some people wanna know, they wanna know what's going on. Some people wanna know, they wanna know. Some people wanna know, they wanna know what's going on. I believe you heard the difference, right? The moment I ended the learning, you can clearly hear the impact on the vocal, right? I think it's too much. So what I now do is to carefully take down the sensitivity. Just what I need it to take out is just a little bit, or you can use this slider to tell it the section you don't want it to touch. But I don't normally do that. I just let it be and control the amount I want here. Just a little bit of it. Some people wanna know, they wanna know what's going on. Some people wanna know, they wanna know. Some people wanna know, they wanna know what's going on. They all want to know what's going on. So at this point, I'm okay. So what I will now do is to activate all these ones, but you might not do this if you have a very strong system. So I will quickly come over here. I'll right click. First of all, I will highlight and make sure to leave enough space at the back. I will highlight, right click there, consolidation from song start. Then it is important to set the bit depth to 32-bit float, like I said. So since I'm using mainly stereo effects, I'm going to leave it at stereo. Then I come over here, enable insert effects, all right? Because I have effects on one of the channel inserts, all right? Then I click start, give it time. All right, as you can see, it is done. So let me quickly deactivate all these ones. All right, now that I've freed up my system, let's listen to what we have now. And as you can see, the audio is already taking shape. Some people's going on. Some people wanna know, they wanna know. Some people wanna know, they wanna know what's going on. They all want to know what's going on. For me, it is okay. And if you listen carefully, you notice that it is sounding a little bit stronger, like something that went through a preamp or some sort of hardware, which is super interesting. Alright, setting bit depth to 32-bit floats helps to prevent clipping and captures all the peaks. And why I don't go for 24 bits is because 24 bits sometimes let peaks slip through, causing distortion. But with 32-bit floats, you are very safe. And remember, consolidation is destructive. Once you bounce it, you can't undo the changes unless you save a backup. So it is important to always have your backup before consolidating your audio file. Alright, this next step is optional. You can leave it to the mixing engineer if you're not the one handling the mixing. Alright, so what I do is to, first of all, let's say I'm not the one that produced the track. It came from a client, so I will just insert auto key here to analyze the track to get the key. Once that is done, I will double click here and open the audio in pitch correction, since I already know the key now. So on Newton here, which is the pitch correction, I'll go to this icon here to set the correct scale and key under this scissors icon here. So click on that, come to scale and go to, since the track key is B major, this section is for major, this is for minor. So I'll come over here and click on that. So what I need to do now is to right click on each node, vocal node, to sync and lock it to the right key or pitch, as you can see. So give me time, let me quickly finish it up. So once corrected, I will now drag the processed audio back into the waveform by using this feature here. Just drag, come back here. So listen. Some people wanna know, they wanna know what's going on. Some people wanna know, they wanna know. Some people wanna know, they wanna know what's going on. And I believe you had it. The result? A clean, in-key vocal that still sounds very natural. And that takes us to the next step. And this is where we bring in a very transparent compressor. Why do we need a transparent compressor? Because we don't want to alter the quality of the audio, alright? Since you're not going to do the mixing yourself, or since you're not starting the mixing properly, it is just preparing the vocals ready for mixing. So at this point, you shouldn't be bringing in color of any sort on the track. Peaks. Alright, the goal here is to capture the peaks, those stubborn peaks, have them under control and bring up the quieter parts of the recorded audio. So at this point, we'll go back to the channel, and the best plugin I love using for it is a plugin that came with FL Studio, Fruity Limiter, and here are the few settings I do. Remember, it is just to capture peaks. I'll switch over to the compressor section and I'll come over to the attack. I leave it at 0.11 milliseconds. Then the release, just a very short release, 2.70 milliseconds, just to focus on all those stubborn peaks. Once the peak comes out, it will capture it and then it will go back to its original form without suppressing the entire audio. Alright, so now let me show you what happens. Some people wanna know, they wanna know what's going on. Some people. Now, if you look at this wave, you can see what is happening. The reason it is pulling down and going back almost immediately is because I am using a very, very short release time. If I pull it all the way up and do some people wanna know, they wanna know what's going. Now you can see the release is lasting longer, and that is not what we want. Okay, so take it back to that. Then some people wanna know. At this point, it all depends on what you are going for. Alright, if you want it to cut it down to this point, it's all up to you. And if you notice, there is no color added. It still sounds natural like the original voice. Okay, so once you're satisfied with this, to show you graphically what happened, I will just consolidate. Before I consolidate, check if something is on the master, take it out, and then consolidate from start song. And so once applied, you will see the waveform even out, and here is smoother and more professional vocal ready for mixing. It is also important to check for artifacts. After compressing, always double check if you hear added color, artifacts, or distortion. If you encounter that, that means the compressor plugin you used is not transparent. So change it and look for one that will not add all those colors. The best compressor should sound super transparent, almost invisible. But don't worry, I will share a list of my favorite transparent compressors in the description, both free and paid. Alright, now let's check it out. We went from here. Some people wanna know, they wanna know what's going on. Some people wanna know, they wanna know. Then to here. Some people wanna know, they wanna know what's going on. Some people wanna know, they wanna know. Some people wanna know, they wanna know what's going on. They all. And as you heard, everything is sounding tighter, even out, and ready for mixing. But to show you a clearer result of what you will get when you are done mixing, I'm going to open a project I did that I have processed using this method and applied effects like reverb, delay, and the rest of it. So let's have a listen. This is without any effect, just prepping the vocals. Yesterday don't I go.
Tears where I cry, you know they show.
Alright, and now is with all the effects enabled. So let's have a listen.
Yesterday don't walk I go. Tears where I cry, you know they show.
I believe you heard it. You can see how it sits so well with the instrumentals, with the right proportion of reverb, delay, EQs and the rest of it. And that brings us to the end of today's video. I know it's a little bit lengthy, but I had no choice because I needed to break down everything for you to see. But don't take it for what I'm saying. Try it out because that is the best way to see for sure for yourself if it is effective or not. Alright? So guys, let me know what you think about it in the comments below. And if you're coming across my channel for the first time, please make sure to subscribe. And most importantly, turn on your bell notification so that when next I upload videos like this, you get notified. As always, stay creative, stay focused, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.